G'day guys, been off to Kalbarri, as you may know if you've been watching the channel, and when we went up I bought a new little camera, just this little beastie here, just the DJI Pocket 2. Got a few observations about this. It's not going to be a setup or a big review, but it's some observations about the camera and what it was like to use the first time I took it away on a trip. Obviously it's a very handy little gizmo because you, as the name gives it away, you can just whack it in a pocket. Very easy to carry around. It's sophisticated. There's a lot of options on these. Now people have done some really good setup videos on YouTube, and I'm not going to waste my time or yours rehashing all that. It's unnecessary. All that information is already out there. But this is firstly observations of some problems with this, and there are a few that I encountered. They're fairly minimal, but some are more annoyances and some are things that I think should be fixed. Now you'll see this is the case it goes in to protect it. That's necessary. It would be fairly easy to damage that head, I would imagine, without this to look after it. And you'll see inside there, hopefully you can see these little bits in here. Now these are the adapters that you use with a phone. If I can get one out, it's proving difficult for a change. These plug into the camera. So put that down for a minute. This happens to be the Apple one, and I don't have an Apple phone, and I never will have because I cannot abide that company. But that replaces the button here. You slide it in and it becomes a direct connect to your phone. Your phone sits off the side here, and you can use the phone as a screen, you can use the app on there. Now my problem is I've got an older style phone. I'm not going to bother looking for it at the moment, but it has a USB micro connector. If you don't have a USB-C or an Apple connector, you're screwed. You cannot connect this to a phone properly. There's no point putting another adapter on to try and change from micro to USB-C. That's going to defeat the whole purpose of the thing sitting up next to the phone and being easy to use. It's just going to wobble around and it's going to damage the connection. So I've also found that the software, the DJI software, will not install on my phone. So older phones, and mine's probably only a couple of years old, are going to be bloody hopeless with this camera. You just cannot use it. I had to do the registration process, and you have to register it before it works. It has to hook up to the phone, has to obviously send some code off to them and some code back to this. I had to do that via another phone, not one of my phones, and but it had to have that USB-C connect. Now the one thing I'm going to talk about with regards to these little connectors, and that's the main issue here, is these just push on inside the cover here, and it's very easy, I found, when you're pulling out the camera, for these to come loose. And if they come loose, of course they're just going to fall down somewhere, and it's happened in the car, it's happened in a couple of places where it's been difficult to get to. It's just fallen into a crevice somewhere and been a real pain in the bum to find. And they've also got this little wide angle lens in here. Now this thing is on with a magnet, and the magnet is not strong enough. That falls out regularly as you're getting the camera out, and as you can imagine, that hitting the ground will bounce off somewhere. And at one stage when I was filming in Kalbarri in the IGA, hit the ground and bounced straight under a freezer, and that was a real pain in the bum getting that back. The magnet on it is not strong enough. It should be way stronger than that. They probably should have used rare earth magnets on it. It's very, very easy to knock it out of there as you're getting the camera out. It's also easy to knock it off the lens. Now this is obviously the operating position of the thing. It just sits on the front of the lens like that. Now that is also very easy. You can see how easy it comes off. That magnet is not strong enough. It's pathetic, in fact. To expect that to stay there when this thing's being used And especially, not so much when you're filming, but when you're not filming and you're just holding the camera, it's just easy. So look, see how easy that comes off. There's no effort at all involved in getting that off the lens. It's probably going to be the same with all the other accessories you can get for it, the filters and those sorts of things. Either they should have put some sort of slide on there, or they should have put a rare earth magnet on to make sure this thing did not come off without a bit of effort. Another issue with the case, now I'm going to take that off and put it down for now because it's bound to fall off as I'm doing this. Another issue with this case is as you're putting this away, and I'll just turn it on for a second, it'll put itself into a fold away position, and it folds itself up nicely like that, and that's ready to put back in the case. Now if you happen to put it in the case this way, there can be a problem. As you can see what I did with my thumb there, as soon as your thumb goes into this area here, it's likely that you're going to hit the on button. Now if you hit that as you're putting it in the case, of course the gimbal's going to activate and it's going to try to come on. There is a failsafe on it. I don't know how good the failsafe is or how much damage it does each time you do it, but I did discover that putting it into the case this way, you're very inclined to push that case here, and as you push that, you turn it on as it goes into the case. As I say, there is a failsafe. I did see on the screen there was a little message came up that said it's activated and it's turning the camera off, but having that turn on while it's in the case can't be good for the camera. It really can't be good for it. So my advice would be that when you've got the camera on and you're about to put it in the case, just turn that off again so it goes into its position, put it in the other way around so that this on-off switch is on the other side. Then as you press on the camera as you're pushing it in, and it's a real natural thing to just push on this to put it into the case. If you do it with the on-off button on the inside, you're not accidentally going to activate that head. So there's a couple of issues that I find, yeah, they could be fixed. They could have made that button just a little bit deeper or something like that. Maybe even have a sliding cover over it, but you can resolve that one yourself fairly easily. Unfortunately, the strap is on this side as well, so it's not really intuitive to turn it around and put it in with the strap on that side. It's more likely that you're going to want to put it in with a strap on the outside, and that's where the danger is. That's where the danger of hitting this button is. So there's some things to consider if you're going to buy one of these. Otherwise, generally, I think it's a good little unit. I've been very happy with the performance of it. It's a little bit of a learning curve. There is a lot on the menu system. The menu system can be accessed via the phone if you've got it attached, but usually you're going to use it on here, and it's all controlled by these flip up, flip down screens, or flip across screens. Flip down, flip across, flip backwards, and that's where all your options are. It is pretty easy to screw it up, especially when you've got big fat sausage fingers. It's a little fiddly, but if I can manage to do it with fingers like this, people with skinny fingers are going to find it a doddle. But in general, I like it. It's a good little camera. I have occasionally found that it's not quite level, the horizon's not quite level, and in that case it's just been a matter of getting it to recenter, and that seems to sort the problem out. And the popularity of this camera, of course, is that it does this selfie mode, and just with 3 taps of the key, the camera will just swing around and shoot whatever's in front of you, and you can, you know, flip backwards and forwards between yourself and whatever view you want to show your viewers. So just a few little bits and pieces to think about with this, and what I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'm going to compare it to the, where have I put that microphone? I'll find it in a minute. I'm going to compare the microphones. Now there's 4 microphones on this. There's one on this side, there's one each side, and there's one on the back, and you can vary how it uses it. You can use back, you can use front, or you can use all. and that will depend on what kind of sound you want to capture. If you're talking to the camera, you're going to want the microphone on this side turned on. So that, I guess, is useful, but I always think having an external mic is going to make life better. As soon as this thing gets further away from me, if I put it down on the table, the microphone on this is not going to pick me up well. I've tried it and it sucks. And what I might do is just do a quick test. I'm going to show you the difference. This is the microphone I prefer to use, and that's the Rode Go 2 Wireless. This comes with the wireless mic with the Creator Pack, but I can't say I'm that impressed with it. What I'll do before I end this video is I'll just give you a demonstration of the difference between the Rode here, the wireless mic that comes with this, and the microphones that are built in. The built-in mics are okay, but you really need to have it sort of up here when you're talking to it. A little bit further out, the record volume is really quite low, and you've got to try and boost it in post and things like that. But if you're going to use the internal mics on these, keep them close to you. You may want to do that anyway, just to watch the screen, and the screen is pretty tiny. But I'll give you a demo now of the Rode, of the wireless mic for this, and the internal mics. Okay, this is the Rode Go 2 Wireless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's just give this one a test. I'll put it down in the same position as I've got the Rode. So this is a test of the DJI Pocket 2 wireless mic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pocket 2 internal microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there is something else to talk about regarding this microphone. Now, when I first got this and put that on, the little dead cat, it fell off. If I was to hold it like that, it just fell off completely. You can see now it's pretty firm. All there are on here, or all there is on the bottom of this dead cat, are two little rounded prongs. There's no kind of clips. It just sort of sits on there, and it doesn't sit on very well. And if I was to do that before I'd modified it, that part would have just fallen straight off. There's no clips at all. It's really a bad design. All I did was just squash the two ends just a tiny bit, just to make them slightly bigger, so that when they go in, they sort of clip in place. But I'll just give you a look at the difference between this and the Rode. Okay, I've got my second Rode mic here because I've got the dual kit. With the Rode, this little dead cat actually clips and twists. So you've got to push it in, which is not the easiest thing to do. You've got to get it in exactly the right place. And then you twist it. And that will not come out under any circumstances unless you actually break it. Not the case with this. DJI should have adopted a similar design where you twist this and lock it, but it doesn't do that. So you will need to just modify those slightly, those little prongs that stick into the top of the microphone. Just squash them ever so slightly. I did it with my teeth. And it just gives it that purchase to keep it on top of the microphone. As you can see, the microphones are similar sizes. The DJI is actually slightly smaller than the Rode. I haven't made up my mind yet which of these two is preferable, but I would put money on the Rode. Rode mics are excellent, and I've been using these for quite some time now, and I don't think DJI are going to be as good. I don't think they'll have the range, and I don't think they'll have the quality either. But I'm now about to turn this off and review what I've just done, so I'll get some idea what the difference in sound is like between these two. But anyway, that was just a quick rundown of this little Pocket 2 camera and some of the things I think are not quite that great with it. In general, the basic unit is good. It seems to be the accessories that are a bit meh. The extension handle's worth having, I think, because it comes, the Creator Combo comes with the microphone, with the extension, with the little tripod mount. So yeah, I'd say the Creator Combo pack is worth getting for this. It's going to cost you an extra couple of $100. It goes from $5.99 up to $7.99. Although I paid $7.50 for this, you can always knock them down a little bit. But I think the combo pack is worth having, even though you've got some of those problems with the lenses clipping into the case and the lens falling off when you're using it, and it's still worth spending that extra couple of $100 to get the other accessories, which will be quite useful. Anyway, that's enough. If you've got any questions about it, or you'd like to know anything else, and if I can find it out for you, just leave a comment below. But that's it for another video. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Cheers.